You're listening to The Social Workers on WCDB Albany.
Welcome to the Social Workers Radio Talk Show. I'm your co-host, Alyssa Lotmore. And with us today, we have Jonathan Hentrich, who is the Director of Serve Albany and the lead pastor at Christ Church Albany. Serve Albany is an active group that, according to its Facebook page, aims to make it easy for interested members of the Albany community to find a place to get involved, to volunteer, and to make a difference in their city. With kids home from school and limited in-person contact with individuals like teachers and coaches, now more than ever we need volunteers to be tutors and mentors. And that is what Serve Albany is focusing on in this week-long volunteer recruitment drive. And we're going to talk about that today. So welcome, Jonathan.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you so much for coming on. And
Absolutely.
I watched the press conference yesterday, and you launched this new initiative, and the speakers included Albany County Executive Daniel McCoy, Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan, and Albany City School Superintendent Kawita Adams. And it's all for this mentoring program that is, you're kind of leading with Serve Albany. So I'd like you to start off by telling us a little bit about the background and the goals for this mentoring initiative.
Sure. So our goal for this initiative and for Serve Albany in general is we're always trying to bridge this gap between kind of these two fields that we always feel. So on the one hand, we have some amazing nonprofits and organizations in our city that are doing amazing things that are making big, big impact. But almost all of them need more funding and more volunteers to really achieve the impact that they're hoping to have. And then on the other side, I talk to so many individuals and friends and neighbors who desperately want to make an impact with their life. I think we're kind of all hardwired to make a difference, and just especially with COVID now and sitting around and watching way too much Netflix, like we just feel like we need something more important in our lives. So we have these people who want to make a difference and these organizations who need people to get involved, but it just seems like there's a gap between those two. And so many people I talk to aren't sure where to sign up to volunteer, to get involved in things. And a lot of organizations are kind of scratching their heads too, trying to figure out where do we find more volunteers, because we need more volunteers. So we're just trying to bridge that gap and try to make it as easy as possible for the organizations to find new volunteers and for people who are looking for volunteer opportunities to get linked up with those organizations. And this specific initiative is for volunteering for being a mentor or a tutor.
And you have 12 organizations who you've partnered with. I'm sure there's many more who could need volunteers, but you have 12 organizations, including the Boys and Girls Club of Albany, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, South End Children's Cafe, and the list goes on. So what is their reaction? Is there a wait list for students who are in need of mentors? What has this been impacted on them?
Yeah, so first, the organizations that we work with, we could open the list to 1 million, I'm sure. Because there's so many good organizations, but we center specifically on the city of Albany. So these are specific mentoring and tutoring organizations, and there's still a possibility we miss some, but they specifically work with mentoring and tutoring in the city of Albany. And yeah, before all of this happened, a lot of them had waiting lists. So I think Big Brothers, Big Sisters said their waiting list is over 100 people. So they have over 100 kids that are just waiting for a volunteer to sign up to be a big brother or a big sister. But until someone signs up, that kid's just kind of sitting there waiting. And most of the organizations have less than 100, but they have kids also that are sitting there waiting. And then a lot of them would love to be able to open up their roles even more, because there's a ton of kids who need some extra assistance, but they want to make sure they have the volunteers in place before they just open up the gates to more kids coming in, so they don't have to sit around waiting.
Well, it's so important. And as a former school social worker, one of the things when all the schools started shutting, and the first thing I thought of was that school offers so much more than academics, and having a person who's a mentor. I mean, they're not having teachers right now who they can see every day, social workers, counselors, coaches. There's been this separation. And for kids, that mentorship is needed. So to have them now connected with someone who can be that mentor, who can be that person who just checks in on them and they can connect with and talk to, is such an important thing right now.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, it's always been super important, but now more than ever, for sure.
And one of the things that was mentioned at the press conference is that it really takes the community. It was saying the mayor had said that, Albany County has so many services. The school district has so many services, but it's still not enough. We can't do this alone. And we need that community to come together to volunteer. And I think it's really great that Serve Albany is working to do that and make this easier for finding out about agencies who are offering services that they may want to volunteer with, and also how to just sign up in a simple way.
Yeah. I was talking to some of the folks from the city schools yesterday, and I mean, of course, watching the news, they're going through budget cuts and everything else right now, and so they would love to have a volunteer mentor program themselves, but they just don't have the resources to be able to do that right now. And so this is really a way where it's like, you guys do have a volunteer program. It's just not run by the school district. It's run by the Boys and Girls Club and by the South End Cafe and Big Brothers Big Sisters. And so the school is desperately needing to be able to partner with these nonprofits. And so they need these nonprofits to be able to succeed and have plenty of volunteers, because it's all the same kids. The same kid that's at Giffen Elementary is the same kid that's at the South End Cafe. It's the same kid who is involved in all these programs, and they're all working together. Like you said, it's a village that's all surrounding this kid that's going to help them succeed.
Now, if someone's listening to this and they say, I'm interested in volunteering, I want to be connected, or I want to donate money because that's also a need right now, how do they do that?
So we've listed the 12 organizations that we're working with in this initiative on our website, which is servealbany.org, and you can click on a tab there that says Be a Mentor. You can look through the 12 different organizations, and it talks a little bit about their volunteer opportunities and let you know where you can donate to them as well. And I think, it really just gives you like the top of the surface of it. And so what I encourage people to do is, if you're interested, a lot of them just have info sessions coming up. And so put your name in and go to an info session for maybe a couple different organizations. And it's in those info sessions that you'll probably get a better idea of, are they doing their tutoring, mentoring virtual? Are they doing it live? Are they really looking for people that are going to help with, elementary age literacy and math homework? Or are they looking for people that are helping out with college age or, later high school year education stuff? And so you'll get a better idea in those info sessions of which one would really be the best fit for you and your schedule and your skill set.
And I think that some of that's captured on your website too. When I had looked at it yesterday, it says, this agency is doing virtual tutoring, and this agency is looking for someone to tutor or to mentor youth in 10th grade, through 12th grade. So it was very specific. So people can really find that what attracts them the most, or where they want to dedicate their time in terms of an age group for a student, or virtual or in person. So it's really great that you have that laid out there on the Serve Albany website.
Yeah, and I think some of them are even looking for where you're helping with a general mentoring program, but maybe you're not a one-on-one mentor. Maybe you're helping one of these organizations with their social media, or maybe you're considering joining their board, or maybe you're coming on in another capacity where it would really help the organization keep moving forward with their whole process of mentoring and tutoring.
Now, is there an age limit or age range for the mentors that you're looking for? So can college students, if they're on campus this year in Albany wanting to volunteer, are college age students allowed to participate this? Or is there a certain demographic that you're looking for to be mentors?
No, I think any and all, I think, would be great.
Well, that's really, because there's so many individuals, especially since I'm working in the college setting, students who want to be involved. So many things have been shut down or canceled, how they can still be involved and be connected with the community where they go to school. So something like this is a really great resource for students too, who might be new to the area, have left where they used to volunteer in their hometown and now are in Albany and want to be connected. So I think this is a really great resource for students as well.
Totally. Yeah, and I'm sure the college schedule will be changing too, but I know a lot of college students are doing a lot more virtual learning, so they might have more flexibility in their schedule than they normally have. And so that's huge. I know that a lot of the mentors tutors, and this is a great thing, but a lot of them are made up of retirees at this point because they have that flexibility in their schedule. And a lot of times they need the volunteers to be able to come in to, a 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon session. And so college students might have the flexibility to be able to fill that role now, and that can be really great. Because while a retiree is a really wonderful volunteer, to have someone who's a little bit younger, and especially I think for like high school kids, to have someone who's just like a few years older than them who can like help them make some of the decisions that they're looking at in the next few years could be a really cool partnership.
Well, I think it's really amazing what you're doing. And I'm actually going to quote you because I really liked what you said yesterday at the press conference. You had said, "Our goal here is super simple. We want to recruit as many mentors and tutors as we possibly can because mentoring and tutoring, it really, really matters." And it's true. And I'm hoping that through this radio station and radio show and all of the other publicity that you've been getting this week really does turn out with a lot of people volunteering for this important need in our community, because the impact of the schools closing and what's happening with school budgets is going to have an impact for years to come. So now more than ever, we need people in the community to step in and really volunteer their time in these mentoring and tutoring roles.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I can list a dozen people in my life that if they weren't there in elementary school and middle school, high school, college, even now, there's no way I would be where I am today. And I know your story is the same, and all of our stories are the same. I mean, we just desperately need that, and everyone needs that. It matters, and everyone deserves it. And there's some of these kids that just don't have the same opportunities that the rest of us have for all kinds of different reasons. And so we really need to step in and make sure that they have those same people in their corner that all of us had.
Well, Jonathan, I want to thank you for coming on today and talking about this really important initiative through Serve Albany. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I mean, the other thing that we always just try to communicate is, and this is going to make a huge impact on, if you decide that you want to mentor and tutor, it's going to make a huge impact on the student that you end up building a relationship with, but it's also going to make a huge impact on you. So serving and volunteering is really the best way to live. And so we become the best version of ourselves, I think, when we're serving and giving, and it really just juices us for everything else that we're doing in life. And so I think you should really consider doing this for the benefit of our community and for the benefit of kids. But I think that you should do this for your own benefit and for your own spiritual and social welfare. Will really be helped when you're involved in a purpose way bigger than yourself. And
so those individuals who might be wondering, well, I don't really have experience. You don't really need experience. And some of these organizations offer training, correct? That if somebody's like, oh, I'm a little nervous about doing this, I don't really have the experience in tutoring or in mentoring, the organizations do provide virtual or in-person, perhaps, trainings for individuals who are interested in being these volunteers. Yeah. The bar is pretty low. I mean, you need time and availability and a heart that's willing to love and to learn and listen. And there's background checks and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, if you are willing and able, then you have what it takes. Well, this is a really important initiative, and I want to thank you. Again, for those interested, you can go to the servealbany.org website, and we were joined today with the person sort of leading this initiative, Jonathan Hentrich, who is the Director of Serve Albany and the lead pastor for Christ Church Albany. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Yeah, thank you.
You're listening to The Social Workers on WCDB Albany.